A mature woman's first desired touch is rarely about urgency or physical impulse. It is about recognition. What many men fail to understand is that for her, that first contact represents emotional safety before it represents desire. She wants to feel seen in her complexity, respected for her history, and valued for her depth. The touch she longs for carries the silent message, "I understand who you are and I honor it." Without that emotional foundation, even the most confident gesture can feel hollow or premature. Often, men assume that confidence means immediacy, that boldness is attractive simply because it is decisive. Yet a mature woman has learned that intention matters more than speed. She has likely experienced rushed affection before, and she knows how empty it can feel when physical closeness arrives before emotional alignment. Her first desired touch is patient, almost conversational, as if the hand itself is asking permission without words. There is also the element of emotional intelligence. A mature woman responds to subtleties, the pause before contact, the awareness in the eyes, the gentleness in the approach. She notices whether a man is attuned to her breathing, her posture, the shift in her energy. The first touch she desires is not accidental, it is responsive. It acknowledges the space between two people and bridges it carefully rather than claiming it abruptly. Many men misunderstand the power of anticipation. They may believe that passion must be immediate to be authentic. However, anticipation is often what makes the first touch meaningful for a mature woman. It is the slow build of connection, the quiet tension that forms when two people truly listen to each other. When the touch finally happens, it feels earned, not taken. Trust plays a profound role in this moment. A mature woman does not separate physical contact from emotional consequence. She understands how deeply touch can affect her, how it can awaken memories, hopes, and vulnerabilities. Therefore, the first desired touch must feel safe enough to open those doors gently. If it feels careless, it can close her off just as quickly. Respect is another layer that is frequently overlooked. A mature woman wants to feel chosen, not pursued as a conquest. The difference lies in intention. A respectful first touch communicates admiration rather than possession. It lingers just long enough to express interest but not long enough to overwhelm. It leaves space for her to respond freely rather than react defensively. Presence is essential. A distracted or mechanical gesture can feel deeply disappointing. She wants to sense that the man is fully there, grounded in the moment with her. The warmth of the hand, the steadiness of the movement, the calm assurance behind it all matter more than dramatic flair. It is the authenticity of the gesture that resonates. For many mature women, the first desired touch is symbolic. It represents whether the connection will grow in tenderness or dissolve into superficiality. That brief contact becomes a preview of how she will be treated emotionally in the future. If it is attentive and considerate, it builds confidence in what may come next. There is also vulnerability in this moment that men may underestimate. A mature woman who allows herself to want that first touch is choosing openness. She is allowing herself to hope. The gentleness of the gesture reassures her that her vulnerability will not be mishandled. Without that reassurance, she may retreat behind her strength. Ultimately, what men often do not understand is that the first desired touch is less about the body and more about the heart. It is a quiet agreement, a shared acknowledgement that something meaningful is unfolding. When approached with patience, respect, and awareness, it becomes not just a physical gesture, but the beginning of emotional intimacy. The first desired touch for a mature woman speaks a language that goes far beyond skin and sensation. It communicates character, patience, and emotional depth in ways words sometimes cannot. Many men interpret this moment through a purely physical lens, assuming that desire alone is enough to justify immediacy. However, for a mature woman, desire is intertwined with discernment. She does not separate attraction from emotional awareness, and therefore the first touch she longs for must reflect not just interest but intention. Timing is one of the most delicate and powerful elements in this experience. A mature woman appreciates when a man senses the natural rhythm of the interaction rather than forcing progression. The right moment often reveals itself through shared laughter, meaningful pauses, lingering eye contact, and the subtle shift in proximity. When a touch emerges organically from connection, it feels authentic and aligned. When it is rushed, even if well-intentioned, it can feel disconnected from the emotional atmosphere that was being built. Subtlety carries immense power in the early stages of intimacy. A gentle brush of her fingers, a soft touch on her arm during conversation, or a steady hand placed respectfully at her back can speak volumes. These gestures show restraint, awareness, and control. They demonstrate that the man is not governed by impulse but guided by presence. A mature woman often finds this restraint deeply attractive because it signals emotional stability and confidence rather than urgency. Emotional pacing is another aspect frequently misunderstood. A mature woman does not equate slow progression with lack of passion. In fact, she often associates patience with depth. A man who can sit in the tension of attraction without immediately acting on it shows strength and self-assurance. His first touch, when it finally happens, feels deliberate rather than reactive. It suggests that he values the connection enough to let it unfold naturally. There is also a silent negotiation happening in that moment, one built on body language and intuitive reading of cues. A mature woman communicates comfort or hesitation through subtle signals. The way she leans closer, maintains eye contact, mirrors gestures, or softens her expression. The man who understands her first desired touch is the one who notices these cues without needing explicit instruction. That attentiveness creates trust because she feels understood rather than pressured. Psychologically, the first desired touch can affirm her sense of worth. When done thoughtfully, it conveys that she is not being rushed into a role or reduced to a physical presence. Instead, she feels chosen for her entirety, her mind, her story, her strength, and her softness. This distinction is profound. It transforms a simple gesture into an emotional statement about how she will be valued moving forward. For a mature woman, chemistry does not eliminate the need for care, it amplifies it. Intense attraction can make the moment feel electric, but electricity without grounding can be destabilizing. A measured and respectful first touch provides that grounding. It allows passion to exist within a framework of safety. This balance between fire and steadiness is often what makes the experience unforgettable. Many men underestimate how much reassurance can be embedded in a single, gentle gesture. A mature woman may carry lessons from past disappointments, heartbreaks, or misread intentions. The first desired touch, when aligned with emotional sincerity, can quietly counter those memories. It can communicate reliability without promises and warmth without pressure. That subtle reassurance fosters openness instead of guardedness. Another overlooked dimension is the sense of partnership implied in that initial contact. A mature woman does not want to feel overtaken. She wants to feel included in the unfolding intimacy. The ideal first touch invites her participation rather than assuming it. It creates space for her to respond, to reciprocate, to co-create the moment. That shared ownership transforms touch into connection rather than performance. Ultimately, what many men fail to grasp is that the first desired touch is an emotional threshold. It marks the shift from possibility to tangible connection. For a mature woman, that threshold is sacred because it sets the tone for everything that follows. When the touch carries presence, patience, emotional intelligence, and genuine respect, it becomes more than a fleeting sensation. It becomes the quiet confirmation that she is safe to open her heart, not just her hand.